Hello again, Rolly ZL1BQD. Now welcome back. Grab a cup of coffee, pull up a chair. Come on, let's go and visit Holger ZL3IO again. And this time we'll have a look at the antenna system that he has. It's a magnificent array, it really is. So I invite you to join me as we go and visit with Holger and talk about what he has for his contest station, Zulu Mike 4 Tango. I'm sure many of you might have worked him in the past, but this is what you're working. So come on, let's go.
Well, Holger, tell me, what am I seeing back here behind you now? It's a magnificent array of antennas you have up here.
Yeah, that's Tower 1 with a stack of 12 element 4-band Yagis. So it's interlaced Yagis for 10, 15, 20 and 40 meter. 40 meter has an own feed line. The other 3 bands are combined on one feed line. And then they separate with a triplexer inside the house before it goes to the different radio stations. And they usually, so you can stack them if you want and point them into the same direction. So both antennas are still rotating here. But the main purpose actually is to have them pointing into different directions. So like the top band, the top beam is right now pointing to North America, whereas the bottom or the lower beam is pointing to Asia, Japan in the moment, or Europe short pass. And this is the big advantage actually of having multiple antennas, that you can cover more directions. Because very often North America is open, but Asia is open as well, or so then you need to have ears and eyes into both directions, obviously.
Yeah. So it's you call that antenna number 1?
Tower 1.
Tower
it's
1.
Obviously more than one antenna.
It is more than one. So if we come around over here, I'm seeing wow, four very nice verticals sitting up here, and that's obvious from my observation. That has to be a 4 square on 80 meters. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So it's our 80 meter 4 square, which in our case is tuned for 3.6 megahertz. So it covers the CW band and, let's say, reasonably okayish the phone band. Could be better in the phone band, but it's let's say it's working okay from that place because it's fairly elevated here. Plus we have a reasonably good ground system. We did a bit more than Nick did on his one. We have around 400 radials per vertical in the ground.
Per vertical?
Yeah, so
that's a
100 radials per 90 degree.
Right, there's a lot of radials that we're standing on around the place.
Yeah, so some of our guys say I'm a bit excessive with radials, but it pays off.
Is there such a thing as being excessive with radials?
Yeah, probably not. I don't think you can. Yeah, that's my view too. But yeah, you need to. If you look around, you see it's all very dry and
yes.
brown.
Yes.
The grass. So we had no rain for almost 2 months here, which obviously reflects into your ground system here. So
exactly.
you need a very good ground system because our summer months are very dry here.
Yeah.
And we have to compensate this with a ground system, and the results show this. So the more we put into the ground, the better our 80 meter results were in every contest.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. I mean, you can ask every amateur in the world about radials, and every amateur in the world will give you a different answer on radials, I'm sure. But I think I subscribe to the same sort of theory that you do. You can't get enough copper in the ground. Yeah?
Never ever. No.
Yeah. And I spy with my little eye, in the background there is certainly another tower.
Yeah, that's the South America, what we call the South America Tower, up there on what we call the upper platform. So it's about 30-40 height meters further up from where we are right now. and it has a much better takeoff to South America and long pass from there, from the terrain slope than from the platform down here. So we put another tower up there, and it has up there 3 element for 40 and a 3 element for 20 right now. What you can't see is, or maybe you can see at the bottom, the boom of the 15-meter beam, which Xenia and I were just, I would say, overhauling it and fixing a few wind damages on it. But it's pretty much going up in the next couple of days. And then it gets another 10-meter beam as well up there. So those antennas are fixed, they don't rotate. And they are focusing on South America and Europe long pass.
Yeah, and you have them fixed for a pretty good reason, I suspect, Holger, and you get some very fierce winds up here, yeah?
Yeah, we do from time to time. I mean, this year has been nice, the last year too. So maybe it's global warming, maybe it's the fact that we in the meantime have some shrubs and trees coming up here. That obviously helps as well, but yeah, no, we are classified as extreme high wind zone in New Zealand, so everything you do here has to be designed for 200 kilometers an hour plus. So starting from the house building, towers, antennas, and an end. And what we can say for sure is nothing standard commercially survives here. So I think the first high gain we put up when we bought this property here made it about 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks at 7-meter height, and then it was blown away or blown into bits and pieces, let's say it this way.
Yeah, I noticed that all the towers you have here, Holger, are relatively low to the ground, so to speak, but in saying so, I'll zoom around over here, and it's on there's that tower number 1 again, but then in the background we have this sort of takeoff out to the right out into the ocean.
Yeah, so terrain falls down at an angle of, I would say, 40 degrees for about 200 meters or 600 feet. So it's a very steep downslope here. And that is the advantage of the location, really. So it's not so much the big antennas, because they are not that big. And that would be a challenge in the wind anyhow. It's mainly the location. Being fairly high here, we are about 1,000 feet or 300 meters above sea level. And it falls down into the main direction very steep from a radio point of view. And yeah, you will be looking North America right now with the camera, so that is, I would say, our probably chocolate side, radio-wise.
Straight across the ocean there, the Pacific Ocean out to, first stop would be Californian coast, or then
Hawaii.
a little bit further south down at down Chile and South America, and Hawaii is out there somewhere if you can.
That's the first what we see as land again.
Yeah, as I often say to my friends, Holger, that work us here in New Zealand, everything from New Zealand is DX.
Yeah, yes. It's
which is brilliant, really.
Yeah. So that is, if you look at our last year's results in CQ Worldwide contest, you could say on 80, 40, 20 meter, we almost always made more Europeans on those bands than stations from Oceania.
Yeah.
And Europe for us means 15 to 18,000 kilometer.
Yes.
If it is short pass. If it is long pass, it might be even longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Oceania is everything within 10,000 kilometer.
And every QSO is a 4-pointer instead of a 1-pointer, yeah?
Or 3.
And 3 points and so
exactly.
on.
So if we would be measured by distance covered, we would probably win almost every contest worldwide from here.
Yes.
But then, okay, that's what the rules are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the magnificent things about working from New Zealand. We are a long, long way south. We're not a mid-Pacific island, so to speak. It's a long way south, isn't it? And that's great. Well, you have a beautiful, beautiful site here, Holger. That's for sure. I marvel at how you found such a site. You must have done a lot of looking around New Zealand, or how did you actually find the site in the first place?
Yeah, we looked for a good match for, let's say, living and radio station, and had made some specification for real estate agents. We gave them clear indication that needs to have three-phase power to the site, no overhead lines for safety reasons. It has to be elevated. Ocean views would be a plus, internet access would be a plus, but it needs to have very good takeoffs to Asia, North America and South America, Europe, long pass direction. So we gave them the degrees, and yeah, the real estate agents had no real clue what that was about and what we had in mind to do here, but it wasn't too difficult, I must say. We got a lot of good places offered.
Yes.
And this one was the optimum from, let's say, being still relatively close to town and to whatever other facilities, and still have the advantage of a very quiet, let's say, HF or noise-wise, very quiet site, and some amazing views on top.
This is absolutely magnificent. I mean, you couldn't wish for better.
Some of the best beaches in front of you.
Yeah. Take away the ham radio aspect of it. It's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful place and fantastic. But add in the ham radio aspect of it, and it's every ham's dream, to be honest, Holger. So
yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah, it's really good.